Many thanks for choosing us. Director General of the Ghana Education Service, Professor Kwesi Opoku-Amankwah, says a review of the free senior high school policy is underway. This exercise, he reveals, is geared at determining which of the cost components parents can be asked to pay. The Ministry of Finance, in a statement earlier this month, indicated that the policy will not be suspended despite seeking support from the IMF. It, however, notes that the IMF will be concerned about possible lack of finance and the ability of government to sustain its expenditure. Professor Opoku-Amankwah was speaking on food shortages in schools, touched on measures in place to deal with the matter, plus an update on the review of the free SHS policy. Listen.
Past, the arrangement, not in the past, but the arrangement is that the suppliers are supposed to supply directly to the schools, except that during this period where we have a challenge, that is why we've indicated that if you have maybe one supplier who supplies to 10 schools, and he was going to go to each of the schools, and it's a day each, we are going to have about 10 days for the person to finish. Okay. And we will still have the complaint. So why don't we do some zoning during this period so that the schools can come to the point to come and pick? But as we go forward, we'll revert to the situation where we'll get the suppliers to go directly to the schools.
I get your point. Now, there's a single point about, when the Ministry of Finance issued their frequently asked questions about the IMF program, they said free HSS will not be suspended, but it is being reviewed to make it better. Has this review ended?
Oh, the thing has just been, the suggestion has just come up. So how can the review end? I thought you were going to start to say whether the review has started. No, I think it's a bigger conversation. It's a bigger conversation, not only for GES, not only for the Ministry of Education, but for the entire country. And then what we will do is that for us on our part, we will start with the smaller ideas of looking at aspects of it. Today, for example, some of the discussions that I've had with my statistics team for them to do something for me is to do what we call unit cost analysis as far as educating a student is concerned. So we will do unit cost analysis, especially for the free SHS. So if we take Raymond as a student, starting from SHS 1 to SHS 3, we can do the analysis and then come up and say that, okay, to give Raymond quality education, it will cost this much. Within that cost, these are the items in the cost. Then we all put it out there and then say, oh, this item, I think we can make do of it, and it will not affect quality. This item, I think we can get parents to pay. This item, let's find some, let the regional, the district offices or regional offices take care of this, So when we have done that, and we've all added our
Professor Opoku-Amankwah is director of the GES. Let's get reactions to this development. We've been joined by President of the Imani Center for Policy and Education, Franklin Kujo. You were one of the think tanks that constantly called for a review to the free SHS. How does this announcement of a possible review come across to you?
Very much. I think it's a welcome idea. Don't forget, it's been on the table even before we decided to go to the IMF, and I think various leaders, religious as well as educational leaders, professionals have all spoken about the need for a review. So it is heartwarming to hear that it's on the table. I would think that the Director General obviously was quite clever in not giving figures. I would have wished that the review idea would have started much earlier than now, so that we can have some sort of idea as to what the figures would look like. But better late than never. And so the first action would be that this is a welcome idea.
Mr. Kujo, what should be the focus of this review, considering what we've seen with the free SHS?
Well, there have been quite a number of proposals, really. I mean, starting from the fact that even the whole idea of borders, some students benefiting from the boarding system and at the same time enjoying the whole, the boarding system free, just as boarded day students are going to also be catered for, was quite, not quite, it wasn't equal in terms of the beneficiary or the beneficiary system in that regard. So maybe we can start from that position that, look, those who really want to be boarders would have to pay. But I think another option would be, again, looking at the budget and then asking what percentage should be shouldered by parents. And of course, those who cannot afford entirely, then would have to adopt a very transparent scholarship system for them. And this can be done. I mean, I've heard a number of people suggest much earlier that, well, it's going to be difficult for the government to determine who can pay and who cannot pay. That's not true. I mean, there's a reason why you and myself are not on leave, right? On leave, the beneficiaries are well targeted through the means testing system. They're able to determine those who can afford or those who cannot afford. Or even as my friend Professor suggested, those who are clearly not able to pay would be referred to a district desk where they can be validated to determine their inability or otherwise to pay. And then they can be supported. So we need to look at the quantum of money we've spent annually on the entire project and decide, after doing this hard work of determining those who can afford and those who cannot afford, then we can come out with the figure. Otherwise, if we decide that, those things are important so that it can be sustainable. I don't think anything that falls short of should be counted. Some proper means testing has to be done.
Franklin Kujo, I'm grateful for your time. He's the president of Imani Center for Policy and Education.